Welcome back to Egan Brooks' Psychology channel. Today we're going to look at 5 reasons you overthink and potential solutions to remove overthinking or manage it. Because let's be real, overthinking is something that is not to be removed, it's to be managed. And it's important that we frame it that way so we don't put this pressure and expectation that it is something that we need to have removed. It is something we need to become more aware of so that it can stop negatively impacting our life. So, the first one is survival mechanism. Now, we stem from our ancestors and they needed to survive and be constantly on alert to external threats. So they had to be thinking constantly about their survival. Is that a threat? Is that a danger to me? Do I need to worry about that person, that animal? How am I going to eat? And it's all about safety, security, protection. So wired into us and our programming is this constant alert system. So our nature is to be hyper vigilant of the surroundings. So part of the solution to that is continually reminding ourselves that there is a part of us that is driving us towards that. And it is not that we are fundamentally broken. So it's important to keep reminding yourself that we have this innate drive to protect ourselves, and it is not necessarily a bad thing. The way we interpret our survival mechanism is important because going down a dark alley at 3 a.m., it's important that we have this survival mechanism. If we didn't, imagine what might happen. So our survival mechanism can help us when we're driving, when we're out in public, because it is important to have this into our system, but unfortunately it is overboard now and it is hypervigilant because of other factors. So it's important to become aware of that. Number 2, illusion of control. Now, I was a massive overthinker, and the reason was because I was scared to feel emotions. It gave me the illusion I was controlling my life by being able to test and play out scenarios in my mind, be able to think about things and create these events so I could almost try and imagine what would happen, what would it mean for my life, what would it mean for my relationships. The reason I did it, and at the core of that, is I was scared of being hurt and I was scared of not being safe, seen and valued. So it all comes from fear, and it is okay to be in that place. But just remind yourself that that is why you're doing it, because I didn't realize I was falling into that pattern until I became aware that the reason I was overthinking was to escape the reality of my life. I did not change. I continually, automatically went into overdrive constantly because I was too scared to feel these emotions, which I continually suppressed because it was easier and I thought that I was healing myself, but I wasn't. Number 3, bad decision over uncertainty. Similar to the survival mechanism, we're all about predictability, safety. We want to know what's going to happen next. And one of the main reasons we can ensure this can happen is through by being in a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. So we want to know what the next step's going to be because we want to be as safe and protected as possible. Therefore, our mind is constantly overthinking because it's trying to create certainty through the uncertainty and chaotic nature of life. So the reason this contributes to overthinking is because we're constantly having to manage this push and pull nature between making good choices for our life that are scary, risky, unpredictable, and managing it with this pull nature from the certainty that we crave, from the predictability of the familiar hell. So we are constantly managing these thoughts. I want to take the risk, but it feels safer, but I know that my potential's here, but I know what this feels like and at least I know I'm going to be safe. The illusion is safety because you're not actually safe. You're depriving yourself of fulfillment, and often you're putting yourself in toxic situations because of your addiction to the certainty. So becoming aware of that is key to getting yourself out of that. Number 4, what if? This was something I loved. It was the what if. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I make this football team? What if I make this social media post successful? What if I ask this girl out? What if I do all this? And it's because we're creating these unwritten contracts. And what I mean by that is we're creating these deals with ourselves. We're negotiating these deals that if I achieve this thing, then this will happen. We're constantly addicted to the consequential nature of the future. So let me explain that simply. What it means is we don't like the present moment for some reason. We aren't happy. There's something blocking us from feeling good about ourselves. So we're addicted to creating these narratives, these promises to ourselves that if we go out and do things, or if we prevent bad things from happening to us, then we're going to feel good enough. So our mind is constantly obsessing about the what ifs. What if this happens, and trying to minimize the pain or optimize for the pleasure. So we're constantly looking for the pain and the pleasure and the rewards in the future, and trying to force ourselves into this place of abundance. But it is through our forcing and our resistance to what we're experiencing, our lack of ability to experience difficult emotions, that prevents us from feeling and cultivating the good emotions. Because we're resisting what is. We're resisting how we're feeling. We're repressing and neglecting and invalidating our true self. And then, of course, we're attracting in things that aren't meant for us because of that. Number 5, and this is probably one of the most important ones, avoid responsibility. Now, it is so easy to use your mind to twist the narrative of a situation to pass the blame onto someone else. At a deep level, no one wants to be the one whose fault it is. So, as a result, we are able to use our thoughts to twist a situation to shift blame onto someone else. Sometimes this happens automatically. It's a defense mechanism, and a lot of narcissists are prone to being experts at doing this. And the reason we do this is because no one wants to feel like it is them who is the problem. That is our DNA. And I still have so much work to do on this because it is an automatic reflex. No, not me. But can you create a buffer between a situation that puts you in a vulnerable position and how you respond? Responsibility is defined as your ability to respond, which means being able to stop, pause, reflect, and make a rational, fair choice rather than acting out of emotion. The reason we act out of emotion is because we're scared. We actually are scared. We're scared for people to see us in a particular light. We're scared for our relationships to break down. We're scared for our job to fail. We're scared. We are literally scared. And then what happens is we start overthinking. How can I twist everything to make me the hero and the victim at the same time? I want to be the hero of my own story, but I also want to be the victim to the situation because it's not my fault and people are doing this to me. And it's an easy narrative to slip into, often happening automatically as a result to shift responsibility, because taking responsibility is fucking hard, and that is why we do it. So, if you enjoyed this episode, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're at the beginning of this journey, but I love bringing you along to these episodes. Here are 5 reasons why we overthink, and potentially 5 opportunities to begin managing our relationship with overthinking.